Yeah everyone, welcome back to the Search Disco Bergen. We are finally back on the bike. I'm really sorry that it's taken so long to do this, but we are definitely back on the bike now. So got a few things that we've got to get done. Got the front brakes to sort out, the ignition barrel to sort out, and I've got to do the heat shield on the inside of the tank, and then obviously, and I've got to do the fuel filler cap. I've got to paint that too. And then once all those things are in, new battery in, everything's all hooked up, then hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't know if it'll happen in this video or in the next episode of the bike, but it'll be time to start it. So it'll be the first start, so that's something we're really hoping to be able to do and achieve. Alright, so yeah, I'll grab that. Thank you very much for holding the camera. Alright, so yeah, as I said, we've got brakes, ignition. I've got to do some touch-ups on some stuff too. The bike is very, very dusty at the moment. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things that I've just had to put sort of on the back burner a little bit to get through some other stuff, other obligations that I had to get through. And of course, you know, try and do stuff behind the scenes with doing events and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, the ignition barrel, the fuel filler flap, and we've got to get these brakes separated, completely pulled apart. A little bit of a tedious job because, you know, being 6-piston calipers, but you know, got service kit ready to go for it. So just need to bleed these brakes, or you know, get all the brake fluid out of the system, and then yeah, then I can start separating it, pulling it apart, and yeah, then service them. Also, I have found a solution, so I'll show you what I mean. Right, so because these are aftermarket pegs, that for the brake switch light, I just needed something to go in between the brake switch and the lever, and this off my my E46, my BMW, is a seatbelt guide, and it just happens to be the perfect length. So I've got to drill out one of these holes a little bit bigger to fit the bolt in that I've got up in here. So you can see I've put a bolt through, and that's got a lock nut on the other side of it. So that way then, you know, it doesn't move, doesn't go anywhere, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, how awesome is that? That happens to be just the right length. Like, so I'm going to clean this up. We'll paint it black so it all blends in and looks all good, all that kind of stuff. And that'll be the brake light switch sorted. So awesome. That was the one thing that was sort of driving me a little bit batty, just trying to think of solutions while trying to work out solutions for other stuff. So yeah, it kind of got a little bit on the back burner like the rest of the bike has, unfortunately. But yeah, so I really want to ride this, so I really want to get this done. Considering how much work I've put into this bike and how it was before I got it. So anyone who doesn't know what this bike was like, go check out the playlist and have a look at the first video and you'll see what I mean. This bike was toast, and now it is awesome. Like, it's $1 million. Well, you know what I mean, like, it's bloody clean, bloody good, you know, dirty, but you know what I mean by clean. So everything is all awesomes. I mean, considering that was the tail that was on it, so yeah, it was a bit cruddy. It's seen better days, but yeah, so it's looking good anyway. All right, and yeah, we'll get on to getting this done. Let's get cracking. Well, that was tedious good fun. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it time lapsed. So we've got most of the brake fluid out now. So there's still going to be some in there, so I've just got to be careful when I undo the brake calipers. So I can take the lines off from this end because the calipers are what needs to be worked on. So I'll take these off. Should be nearly, the lines themselves should be pretty empty, but I'm expecting there still be brake fluid inside the calipers themselves. So yeah, so when I take these off, I'm just gonna, like, you know, do it that way. But first things first, I really should have done it first anyway, but we'll get these pins, the pads and everything out. So, and we'll put them to the side so that they all stay nice and clean. And then yeah, we'll take off the lines and get these ready to be separated. Joy. Alright, let's crack on. Okay, so we've got them all separated, got all the parts out, most of the brake fluid out. So as you guys can probably see how bad that is, it's to the light a bit. See all the little bits floating around in that? Don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, all the little bits floating around in that, as you can see. They definitely needed to be pulled apart. So kind of glad that, yeah, that I'm doing this now. I just wish I did it before I painted them. That's the part that's really annoying. Not all the paint's going to come off, of course, but yeah, I'm going to lose some paint. But, you know, at least they'll be all nice and fresh and working, which is a bonus. Alright, so now we move on to splitting up the calipers themselves. Okay, let's crack on with that. Rightio, so just put some WD-40 in there, just let it sit in there. I'm going to leave that sit overnight and hopefully that'll start working its way through. Give them some little love taps and that, but I'll be attaching at least one half the caliper I can attach to the board and use the compression and blow out. But for these two, they will have to be like with the caliper put together, and then I'll try and blow those three out that way and loosen them out that way. So yeah, wish me luck, eh? I mean, and as I was saying before, like, you can really see just how much crap has come out of them. Like, inside that is full of crap which came out of it. But yeah, that's sort of what was some of the leftover bits in the end. Yeah, not pretty. But you know, we'll get these all fixed up, and whoever buys this bike will know, well, at least the brakes are freaking awesome, because they'll be like new brakes. Alrighty, alright, so well, that's it, and we'll crack on again in the morning. Okay, so I've been hitting these already with some compressed air. I've been able to slightly get them to move, but I'm going to have to hit them again, and I'll show you guys how I'm doing it. Those ones are, well, those two ends there are popped free. The middle two are moving. That one on the end there is also moving, but that one is staying where it is. So when I split these up again, I'll put it onto the wood, and then I'll hit it with compressed air through one of the feed, like, little areas where it goes through the feed line. Anyway, right, so I normally have a different nozzle, like I'm just using the air gun at the moment. You know, there's a different type of one anyway, but I normally have like a little cone-shaped rubber seal that goes on the end, so you can put it into like holes and stuff like that to create a seal. Alright, so I'll show you how I'm hitting it with the compressed air. I'll just show you on that camera, and then yeah, you guys will see how it's done, and then we'll move on to splitting them up and then grabbing them out. Alright, let's crack on. So as you can see, we've got it on the wood now, sealed. Just going to blow through there and see how we go. Yeah, make sure that you get the same bolt pistons going back into the same cup, or the same cylinder, wall, bit. Make sure each one goes back into its home. Be very careful, you don't want to score these pistons either. Alrighty, so that is one caliper completely pulled apart. Now I don't know where all the top rings went. When the pistons come out, they went flying. So yeah, I don't know exactly where they all went, but as I've said, make sure that you keep them going into the exact same ones, the exact same order that you see them come out. Right, so the next step for these is these have got to be completely cleaned out. These have also got to be made smooth again, all clean, all that kind of stuff. Once these are all cleaned up, then I'm going to mask everything off so that I can repaint them. Fun times ahead. Yay. But yeah, at least now we've got one done. We've just got to get on to the other caliper to make sure that's all split up. Yeah, all the pistons are out and all the seals. And then once all that's done, we can put it back together with the new kit. Yay! Alright, let's crack on. Now do what I'm doing, make sure you guys have got a steady hand and good eyes. What I'm trying to do is just loosen up the seal around from the piston so I can get some lubrication down there. Just break it up a bit. Alright, that was fun. So the tedious part's over, thank God for that. So yeah, now it's just all cleaning everything up, getting everything all nice and all that kind of stuff. Cleaning these out with brake cleaner to get everything out, make sure everything's gone, clean up all the surfaces, all that jazz, and then put the new seals in, pistons in. These things were buggered. Like the seals, when I took them out, they didn't look the best. That one there is probably the best out of all of them, and yeah, they were quite expanded. So if I remember to, I'll whoops, a bit shaky there, sorry. If I remember to, I will put the old seals next to the new ones, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. I'll try and remember to do that. Anyway, so yeah, let's keep on cracking. Alrighty, so let's get on to cleaning these. I've had a change of mind. I am going to just get these all cleaned up, and then I'm just going to mask everything off and paint them. Yeah, I think that would be the better way to go. Alright, so we have the brake cleaner, we've got some wire brush thingy madoogies, and also toothbrush, calipers. So we're going to get these all cleaned up so they can be all ready for mask off and paint. And you know, of course, we'll do the pistons and everything as well. Alright, let's crack on. Okay, so that's phase one of getting these things cleaned up. Got steel wool, very super fine steel wool. You've got to be really careful not to score the pistons or the bores, like the cylinder bores. But yeah, so here's what came out of just that one caliper. So that's just phase one. That's what came out of that, like out of them two, and the pistons. So yeah, they're pretty gunked up. Alright, yeah, so we'll get on to doing the next phase for these, so then I can have them put aside in their own little container, so I keep them all together. Alright, let's crack on. Now, as I've said before, when using steel wool, because of everything I do, I've got super high grit sandpaper. So you don't want to leave any scoring on your pistons or in the bores. So yeah, make sure also that you blow the crap out of these with the air nozzle. Don't want any filaments left behind. They'll score the pistons, and then you'll end up with these calipers again, or they'll weep out and leak and all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's get cracking. Alrighty, so that's one lot done. I'd still have to smooth things out a little bit more on there. Just want to clean them up more. So, you know, as I said, I've got really high grit sandpaper, so I'm not worried about them being scored or anything like that. But yeah, they come out alright. So that's what's come out of just this side, just doing that. So yeah, it's going to get a lot more in there because they're next. Alright, so we'll get onto those, and then I'll look at what I need to do to recondition them. Alright, let's crack on. Alright everyone, that's it for this one. I hope you guys really enjoyed the episode. In the next one we'll be getting further along with these calipers. Otherwise the video is going to be too long, so I'll be wanting to show you guys, just want to show you guys how they are after they get cleaned and taken care of, so you can see the difference pretty much. So you take this, like this is 3000 grit, alright, so also another thing, if you're going to be doing using steel wool, make sure it is extremely fine steel wool. You don't want it to eat into these too much, you know, they've got to slip back into where they were from. So yeah, if you guys like what I'm doing, of course, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. We'll get back onto them in the next video for the bike, but all this will all be done. So the next thing we'll be doing is masking it up and then repainting them, and then putting all the new seals, all that kind of stuff back in, putting them back together, attach everything, put it back on the bike, and bleed them. That's the brakes completely done. Okay, so the reason why I'm waiting to do this further in the next video, because you know, for the paint side of things, the weather is a real crap at the moment, so I don't really want to paint in this weather, but from about Monday onwards it's looking like it's going to be some good temperatures, you know, to paint in and stuff like that. I don't want to sit there with a heat gun to dry everything, so I'd rather just, it gets warm in the marquee. So yeah, that's when I'll also be doing this. We'll also get on to getting the ignition barrel done as well as the fuel filler cap. So those will get done, painted around the same time that these do. I do have the key seat lock, but it's all together. Like, I don't want to have to try and pull the rear fairing off, so it'll be there for whoever buys the bike. They'll have that to change over if they so wish to make it so all locks are the same. But otherwise, at least two of them will be, and the third one will just be there. Alright guys, anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.